today we got some controversy. So the controversy that you probably have heard of, which is why you've clicked on the video, is involving a Miss Patti LuPone and a Miss Kecia Lewis. But basically what's gone on is Kecia Lewis is in Hell's Kitchen. Patti's in The Roommate. They both are not in the same building, but the theaters are like this picture of it right there. And basically Patti was like, you know what, your sound design is a little too loud. I'm gonna contact the manager. She was like, manager, turn that sound down because I'm Patti LuPone. And the sound design guy was like, okay, Miss LuPone. And she sent the company flowers saying thanks from Patti and Mia, or Maya, whatever her name is. And then there was a video circulating where Patti refused to sign a playbill, and she made a comment saying, oh, the Hell's Kitchen, the show, is too loud, and that's why I'm not going to sign it. Now, here's the thing. Patti LuPone's a diva. Patti can do what she wants. But on the other hand, yes, it is true. If you're a black woman and you act like Patti LuPone, you probably want to get away with it. And that's a terrible double standard that's rooted in race. But on the other side of it, here's the thing. On one hand, I don't think Patti should be in charge of asking the sound team of Hell's Kitchen to change the sound system. I feel like that should be something that is done through the producers, and that's not done through the star, no matter how big she is. I do think that was very pretentious of her, and I think it was, quite frankly, kind of like, okay, who are you? And the little dig about Hell's Kitchen being a little too loud, wasn't needed, you know what I mean? But Patti's always been a petty, person, trying to use nice words. But, yeah, so Patti is a diva, classic old age diva. So obviously she's gonna say these things, and typically the Broadway community doesn't act like this, so when this does happen, it's big controversy, but if this was on YouTube, like, this would be another day in the office, no one would care. So yeah, I do see that Patti, it was weird for Patti to do that. However, on the other hand, Kecia Lewis, appropriating microaggression, the term of it, and pulling the race card, I think is offensive, insulting, and just downright objectively wrong. Literally, when she was reading the microaggressions, it's like she was reading it off of a Google definition. It's true though. But on the other hand, the microaggression came from basically when black people are loud, white people get freaked out by that. And so the implication that Kecia Lewis was making was, our show is predominantly a POC cast, and because we're POC, and you're using loud, which is an unintentional stereotype, it's a microaggression. So there's a logic to it, but there's a big problem with that logic. It's not the actors that she's having an issue with, it's the sound of the show. And I've heard from multiple people who've seen MJ, who've seen Strange Loop, who've seen Hell's Kitchen, School of Rock even. I remember seeing School of Rock. The shows are loud. They're intentionally loud. That's a tech issue, not a people issue. If the cast of Hell's Kitchen were performing a song outside the theater, and Patti saw them, and she's like, you're all being too loud, that's a microaggression. That's bad. But what Patti was doing was being a diva, being a little stuck up, didn't like it, but she wasn't being racist, and she was not pulling a microaggression. And I find it suspect, because that's just not what microaggression is. I've had microaggressions happen to me before, very rarely, and this is not that at all. This is the kind of thing that you just don't throw these terms around. And there's a quote that Michael O. Jackson put up, and I'll have you read it, but basically saying, we use words so loosely now that the meaning of words don't even matter. And I think that microaggression, transphobe, racist, woke, not woke, get thrown around so much that we're not actually describing the situation properly. We're using words to fulfill and push forward our own agendas, our own ways and views of looking at things, which is very dangerous and is a power move. I mean, it's what Michael O. Jackson said. So I think Kecia Lewis if she really cared, I think she would have just done this in private. There's no reason for this to be public. You're literally across this, not even across the street, you're in almost the same building as her. And I think her saying, making space for, diverse voices and things, it's just so cookie cutter, diversity, inclusivity, just trash that just leads nowhere. It doesn't lead to any actual change, and it's just seems very corporate. And so I find it suspect that Kecia Lewis posted this on her Instagram, and wanted a public apology from Patti. And so now I want to play you a clip from White Girl in Danger that I think perfectly summarizes this whole piece better than I could. I'm just here to give you the news, give my opinions, give you my thoughts, my views, and then you're allowed to interpret it any way you want. But I do think that this clip best encapsulates this whole situation, and a lot of people didn't see White Girl in Danger, so you probably are seeing this for the first time. So this is where the video ends for me, so make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And now I'm going to show you the clip. Well, you'll see the audio of it, and I think you will walk away being like, yeah, Michael O. Jackson, he is correct again.
I guess I just got carried away with putting on this minstrel show for the Twinkling All White Eyes.
The Twinkling All White Eyes?
Oh yes, the Twinkling All White Eyes. See, you can't see them, but I can. I love them. I hate them. I am obsessed with them. And it is this love-hate obsession that has left me sick. Like multiple personalities sick. Which led to much of the havoc that you saw wreaked on All White in the end.
So if you're sick with multiple personalities, then it's nobody's fault, right?
No, it is absolutely all my fault. Because they are all a part of me. And because we have this sick need to try and outdo whites at everything. From this childish, sick notion that we have to be twice as good as whites to matter. And because we are a childish, white-obsessed, middle-class, liberal black body, we also have a sick need to make shit up. To tell these bougie black oppression stories and tall tales in life and in art to anyone who will listen. Or hire us. To be racial spokespeople. Yet another kind of minstrel show, right? And don't even get me started on the unapologetically black minstrel shows we put on and try to outdo each other. Please believe me when I tell you that I love my race. I truly do. But ladies, I utterly loathe my social class. Because we bougie-ass Negroes can be so far detached from reality that we can spend the days of our lives just savagely mocking Karens and Beckys when half the time we are the Karen and the Becky. Bougie black Karens and Beckys who've gotten to be twice as good at being twice as bad as the whites we love to hate and hate to love. Bougie black Karens and Beckys who have taken liberal white money and hashtagged liberal black death. Turned it into a multi-million-dollar racial and social justice pyramid scheme and lifestyle brand that is less about attention or spotlights or whether or not our black lives matter, because it all comes back to white validation, doesn't it? And just wanting to be liked, doesn't it? And because I have loved so many white cultural products since childhood, I had a sick need to see if I could represent that too. But because of these multiple personalities, I had a need to see if I could do all of that while centering two different classes of black women characters, because I have been disgusted with and enchanted by what white writers have done to black maid mammy characters like you in everything from Gone with the Wind to Caroline or Change Now. And Kecia, I have been obsessed with wanting to center a young suburban black girl like you ever since white writers so violently erased Rhonda after the first season of Melrose Place. Okay, well maybe that wasn't literal violence, but my bougie black ass just didn't like it. So here we are.